All right, so your presenters today are myself, Jeff Kyle, and Anthony Oguntoy. We're both modern work technical specialists here at Microsoft. While we're going through the presentation, please add any questions you have in our chat that will be answered during the presentation and at the end of the webinar. So the agenda today is to go through introductions, which we have just completed. We're going to talk about Bing Chat versus Bing Chat Enterprise, explain how Microsoft 365 Copilot functions behind the scenes, give a summary of Copilot in the Microsoft 365 apps. Then we'll go into demos of Copilot in the Microsoft 365 apps. And then finally, we'll finish off our presentation by talking about when Copilot's available, some helpful links, and then answering questions that you all have put in chat. Okay, I'll pass it over to Anthony to go over the differences between Bing Chat versus Bing Chat Enterprise.
All right, hello everyone. So we're all familiar with ChatGPT, and we may all be familiar with the fact that ChatGPT is a large language model-based chatbot, right? ChatGPT is trained to interact in a conversational way, answer follow-up questions and admit its mistakes, challenge incorrect premises, and reject inappropriate requests. Let's start by talking about the AI options offered by Microsoft, which are all powered by a large language model called GPT. From Microsoft, we have Bing Chat Enterprise, and Microsoft 365 Copilot. Bing Chat is powered by GPT-4, OpenAI's most capable model. This is an improvement over the GPT 3.5. This is what gives it the ability to reason over data. It offers AI-powered web search and answers complete questions with citations so you can verify your answers. Bing Chat Enterprise brings generative AI to work and adds commercial data protection. This means user and business data is protected and will not leak outside your organization. Chat data is not saved. No one at Microsoft can view it, and chat data isn't used to train underlying models. Microsoft 365 Copilot, on the other hand, this takes AI to a whole new level. It has all the capabilities of Bing Chat Enterprise plus so much more. It has the powerful GPT language model, AI-powered web search, and answers, but it also doesn't stop there. Copilot is built on Microsoft's comprehensive approach to enterprise-grade security, privacy, identity, compliance, and responsible AI. So you know it's enterprise-ready. This means Copilot inherits your existing Microsoft 365 security, privacy, identity, and compliance policies. Your data is logically isolated and protected within your Microsoft 365 tenant and always within your control at the tenant level. Copilot respects individual and group permission policies. Now let's focus on Bing Chat and Bing Chat Enterprise. Bing Chat and Bing Chat Enterprise are two different products offered by Microsoft. Bing Chat is a free AI-powered chatbot that provides users with answers to their questions based on web data. You can ask Bing Chat both simple and complex questions. You can use it to research or request summaries of articles, books, events, the news, sports results, and many more. Bing Chat is accessible on your browsers. On the other hand, Bing Chat Enterprise is a commercial-grade chatbot designed for enterprise use, which means it is built to protect sensitive business data and provides commercial data protection. Your chat data is not saved, and Microsoft has no eyes on access, which means no one can view your data. Data is not used to train the model as well. Now, employees, all over are looking to use AI tools to help them unlock creativity and productivity at work. Bing Chat Enterprise is designed to give employees access to better answers, greater efficiency, and new ways to be creative. It provides complete verifiable answers with citations, along with visual answers that include graphs, charts, and images. With Bing Chat Enterprise, you can use it to research industry insights and trends. It has the advantage of being able to answer questions based on today's information, unlike other AI chat experiences which provide often dated answers. Bing Chat Enterprise can help you analyze data by providing insights and comparisons on a variety of topics. It is transparent about the sources for the information behind the answers, so you know exactly where the content is coming from. Bing Chat Enterprise can help employees learn new skills, even write code by providing relevant information, guidance on syntax, structure, and even best practices. Bing Chat Enterprise is rolling out already to tenants and is included at no additional cost in Microsoft 365 E3, E5, Business Standard, and Business Premium. In the future, it will be available as a standalone offering for about $5. And I'll pass this back to Jeff, who's going to tell us more about Microsoft 365 Copilot.
All right, thanks, Anthony, for that. All right, so what you're looking at here are the components of Microsoft 365 Copilot. There are three parts. There's the Microsoft 365 apps, that's Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, and more. There's the Microsoft Graph, and that's all your content, context, your emails, files, meetings, chats, your calendar. And the last piece is the large language model, or LLM, which is a creative engine capable of parsing and producing human readable text, all accessible through natural language. All this together, let's use natural language commands to produce content, analyze data, build presentations, and much more, which is how you unleash your creativity, productivity, and upskilling. Now, we often get asked, did you just take ChatGPT and hook it inside of the Office suite? No, Copilot actually, it's not just ChatGPT hooked into our apps. A huge difference is that Microsoft integrates private instances of the LLM. Customers are often, feel like we're just sending the data externally, but the LLMs are all within the Microsoft 365 compliance boundary. The other big differentiator is the Copilot orchestration engine. This is what powers Copilot in the Microsoft 365 apps. Now, let's see how Copilot works under the hood. The first step in the orchestration engine is the natural language prompt from what you type into Copilot. Next, Copilot takes that user prompt and then pre-processes the prompt, which is called grounding. Grounding takes the prompt that you gave it and improves the quality of it, so the answers you get back are relevant and can actually do something in that application. Grounding makes a call to the Microsoft Graph and retrieves your business content and context. Copilot then combines this user data from the graph with other inputs to improve the prompt. So what is the Microsoft 365 Graph anyway? Well, the Microsoft Graph is your data, so it's all your emails, conversations, your documents, who you're working with, and all the relationships with that data. So if you ask it a question that needs to look up information, for example, what action items did my manager email me? It would need access to those emails. And the Microsoft Graph contains those emails that you have access to. This is what makes the response to your prompt unique to you and grounded in the answers you are looking for. Now, I want to reiterate, during this retrieval and throughout the orchestration process, we ensure that the security and privacy principles are applied so we don't leak data. Copilot, again, only has access to the data that you, as your individual user, has access to. Because this is built on Graph, all the existing security trimming, information protection, auditing, et cetera, apply. You don't have to set up additional security constructs with Copilot. Now that we have a prompt that's been modified by grounding, that's then sent over to the LLM. The LLM is outside of your tenant, but it is part of the Azure cloud. Data that leaves your tenant is not stored by the LLM, and it doesn't leave the Azure data center. You may be familiar with what an LLM can do based on your experience with ChatGPT or Bing Chat, Copilot asks the LLM to generate an abstract way to command the app based on what you put in the prompt. So, for example, if you prompt it, create an animated deck with the data from this document, it translates it into a set of commands by the LLM that can then be used to drive PowerPoint to create a stunning presentation with multiple slides that harness the beauty of PowerPoint. Now, after the LLM processes the grounded prompt, it sends a response back to the Microsoft Graph. This post-process phase grounds the prompt even further, making calls to the Microsoft Graph for responsible AI checks, security, compliance, and privacy, and reviews the command generation. The Copilot orchestrator also does more than just get data and send to the LLM. We built an additional RAA checks or responsible AI to ensure harmful content isn't generated. Throughout this orchestration, we make sure we're meeting our enterprise commitments and promises of responsible AI and M365 security, compliance, and privacy. Now, finally, Copilot sends a response to the user and commands back to the apps. This response is what you see inside the Copilot application you're using, whether that's Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, and more. This is that magical moment in the application that you're using, that you get to see the result back from Copilot, and it saves you valuable time by drafting a Word document, generating a PowerPoint, providing information in M365 Chat. Now, here's a single slide that has all these steps combined, showing how Microsoft 365 Copilot takes the prompt that you give it, processes that information, and returns valuable information to improve your work. A few things I want to call out. In this example, we're calling the Microsoft Graph for grounding data. We're also working on including web and even plugins to provide an outside data into the Microsoft Graph. I also want to emphasize all this occurs within the Microsoft 365 trust boundary. So any content that's processed is limited to what users have access to, and generated content becomes content in M365, and thus has the same security, privacy, and trust promises that any data in Microsoft 365 has. Although the buzz around GPT and LLMs is new, the components that power Copilot are foundational platform pieces that Microsoft has been working on for years. As I mentioned earlier, the Copilot orchestration engine also has RAA, which is responsible AI checks. So this central spinning image that you see here is actually doing a lot of heavy lifting. Now, my colleague Anthony is going to give you an overview of the capabilities of Copilot in the Microsoft 365 suite of apps.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. So Jeff just gave us a detailed explanation of Copilot and how it works alongside the apps that we use every day. In summary, natural language is a combination of large language models plus your Microsoft 365 graph. Copilot is integrated into Microsoft 365 in a couple of ways. It works alongside you, and it is also embedded in the apps millions of people use every day. So now you can be more creative in Word, more analytical in Excel, more expressive in PowerPoint, more productive in Outlook, and more collaborative in Teams. And with Microsoft 365 Copilot, you unleash creativity, unlock productivity, and up-level skills. Our products here at Microsoft are so rich and powerful. Copilot will let you use the products to their fullest potential. What if the tools you have from Microsoft could learn how you work rather than the other way around? Microsoft 365 Copilot works alongside you in the apps you use every day. So by unleashing creativity, you can harness Copilot's powers so you never start from scratch. By unlocking productivity, Copilot summarizes actions for you and optimizes your time. You can up-level your skills by being better at what you're good at and master what you're yet to learn. Using just your own words, you can put Copilot to work, gathering information in real time from across your data and applications. So talking about creativity, right? Microsoft 365 Copilot and Whiteboard is designed to make brainstorming sessions more productive and engaging by providing suggestions based on natural language prompts. With natural language, you can ask Copilot to generate ideas for you, organize them into themes, create designs that bring ideas to life, and summarize whiteboard content for you. You can also ask Copilot to organize your ideas into categories with headers or create designs that bring your ideas to life. Some of us have been in a situation where we stare at a blank document and don't know where to start. With Copilot, you can jumpstart a new document and say goodbye to the dreaded blank document. Microsoft 365 Copilot in Word helps you write, edit, summarize, and create documents quickly and efficiently. You can add content to existing documents, summarize text, and rewrite sections or the entire document to make it more concise. You can also get suggested tones from professional to passionate and casual to thankful to help you strike the right note. With PowerPoint, Copilot is a great tool to help you create stunning presentations with ease. It can add relevant content from documents you made last week or last year, create custom images using OpenAI's image generator DALL-E, and even suggest talking points and design ideas. Excel Copilot, this is a powerful tool that can help you unlock the power of data. With just a prompt, Copilot can suggest formulas for you. It can create charts and visual aids and help you clean your data, get insights, and build financial models in minutes. It puts all the rich capabilities of Excel at your fingertips. It generates models based on your questions that help you explore your data without modifying that data. Now you're a numbers person, without even trying. Microsoft Loop. This is a transformative co-creation experience that brings together teams, content, and tasks across your tools and devices. Copilot in Microsoft Loop. This is a tool designed to help teams stay in sync. It quickly summarizes all the content on your Microsoft Loop page, helping everyone stay aligned and collaborate effectively. As your Microsoft Loop page gets filled with ideas and content, you can ask Copilot to summarize your team's work so you can quickly get up to speed. Now, with Copilot in Outlook, this can help you compose emails more effectively by offering suggestions, recommendations, and automated assistance to improve writing quality and enhance productivity. It can coach you to deliver the information in the most appropriate way when sending an email about a sensitive topic or when working on a tight deadline. Copilot can also help you improve your writing with suggestions that strengthen your argument or smooth inconsistencies. Copilot in Outlook helps you clear your inbox in minutes, not hours or days. It can summarize long email threads to quickly drafting suggested replies for you. Next, we have Microsoft 365 Copilot in Teams Phone and Meetings. This AI-powered tool helps users to stay on top of your conversations, capture important information, and follow up on action items. With Copilot and Teams Phone, users can make and receive calls from their Teams app on any device and get real-time summarization and insights. Additionally, users can ask Copilot to draft notes for them during the call and highlight key points using natural language commands. Copilot in Teams Phone supports both VoIP and PSTN calls, and it really doesn't matter if you're on calling plans, direct routing, or even Operator Connect. So next, I want to talk about Copilot's Microsoft 365 Chat. This is a feature designed to help users complete repetitive tasks quickly and efficiently. It can assist in tasks such as writing lengthy documents, summarizing lengthy emails, or preparing detailed presentations. The M365 Chat feature of Copilot is integrated throughout the Microsoft 365 applications, scanning business data and applications to find relevant data. This eliminates the need for manual labor in data retrieval and tracking. Microsoft 365 Chat is found alongside Bing Chat Enterprise in the browser. You have a toggle above to switch between Microsoft 365 Chat and Bing Chat Enterprise. And if I can point to here, if you look up here, if you have Copilot, so M365 Chat, and you have Bing Chat Enterprise, right over on top there in the browser, you can switch between M365 Chat and Bing Chat Enterprise. Next, I'll turn this over to Jeff to help us with some Copilot demos.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. All right, so this is going to be the first of three different demo click-throughs that we're going to be going through. This first demo section is going to be going through Whiteboard. We're going to go over to Word, PowerPoint, and then Excel. All right, so here we are on the Windows 11 desktop, and we're going to go ahead and open up Teams. And if you see here, we are in a marketing brainstorming session. So this is a team meeting. We brought up the Whiteboard application, and this is a blank canvas. So we really need a nice starting point. And we're going to use Copilot here to help us out. So on the left, we have the Copilot icon here. So we're going to open that up. And we're given some different options. So we have suggest, visualize, and categorize. Well, we want to utilize Copilot to suggest some sticky notes for us. So we're going to have it help us out. So click that, and then the Copilot prompt comes up. And we're going to come in here and just give it this prompt. So we're going to say, suggest some inexpensive ways to optimize our website for organic reach without using social media, right? So that's the prompt we're giving it. We're going to submit that into Copilot, and it's going to create these draft sticky notes for us. Now, our first interaction here, it gives us 5 different sticky notes. We really need more topics than that. So instead of hitting the insert button at this point, we're going to say generate more. It's going to go through, and it's going to generate some more sticky notes. So now instead of 5 sticky notes, we have 10 sticky notes that we can put in. So we could, again, insert these. We can generate more. We can even edit the prompt and change it if we wanted to, if we're not getting the results we want. 10 is a good starting point, so we're going to start there. So there we go. It's created our sticky notes for us. If you notice that at the top, it says that they're AI generated. So it kind of helps differentiate between who's created the sticky note. So if it's AI or if it's an individual user. Now, as we start having our discussion, we've decided we really want to kind of expand upon priorities keywords. So we're going to click on that sticky note, and we're going to hit suggest, which again is going to leverage Copilot to come through and help us suggest some additional sticky notes for our brainstorming session. So here we go. It's gone through. It's suggesting some more ideas for that keyword. And for this one, five additional sticky notes is good. So we're just going to go ahead and insert those. So there we go. So now we've got 15 different sticky notes, and Copilot was really able to help us, expand on our brainstorming session, give us a place to get started. So just giving us some nice help here. Now we're going to go jump over to Edge. And this is where we're going to look at all the different Office apps. So this is the web version of the apps versus the installed version. Just makes it a little easier to flip between them. But just to let you know, I have Copilot myself installed with the apps, and it's the same experience. So if you're using the web version or the installed clients, the look and feel is the same. So this is a blank document, and automatically for a Copilot licensed user, anytime you open up a blank document, the draft of Copilot prompt will come up, and you can go ahead and give it a, come in here and type in what you're wanting to do. So in this instance, we're going to have it do a project proposal And then we're going to base it off of an existing Word document. So we're going to say reference a file here. And then we're going to click this construction planning document. So this is already an existing document. We're basically going to utilize Copilot to transform a construction planning document and convert that into a project proposal. So we're going to hit generate here. Copilot's going to go through, read that file for us, and basically use AI to transform the type of document for us. So here we go. It's finishing that up for us. And then basically we're given some different options here, right? So we can keep the document, we can regenerate it, or we can discard it. And then one of the things to note, if you notice this little section here, there's the AI generated content might be incorrect. You always want to review anything that Copilot generates. And that's true for any, generative AI system out there. Also, if you notice, there's a little thumbs up and thumbs down. This is how you basically provide feedback. So with Copilot, we are not reading your prompts or your data, anything that you're doing. So this is the only way for you to go through and give us feedback for how Copilot's doing. So when you click that, it actually will bring up a window, and you can actually type in some feedback for how Copilot's doing. So for this instance, we're going to keep this. And we're going to go back and scroll through the document here. Now, this section, we've decided we want to go through and paste in some additional content. So this is a document, we can edit it, even though it was started by Copilot. So we're bringing in this paragraph that we have. And if you notice, the last sentence here is, here are some potential benefits of using these technologies. So we're going to leverage Copilot to fill this in for us. So we started a new line, and then you'll notice here's our Copilot icon. We'll click on that, and then our draft of Copilot dialog box comes back up. So this time, instead of giving it a specific prompt or referencing a file, this new option comes up called Inspire Me. Now, what this lets you do is it's going to read the content of the file, and it's going to generate text based on what it sees in the document. So we're going to Inspire Me. It's going to start reading that text and then generating us some content based on that. So there we go. So this looks pretty good. So we're going to say keep that. And that is our demonstration for Word. Now, in addition to that, you can actually bring up the Copilot pane. You can actually sit there and ask it to like summarize the document, that kind of stuff too. It's pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to PowerPoint now. And this is a blank PowerPoint presentation, just like the Word document that we just worked on. But this one, the interaction with Copilot is a little different. So this is that Copilot pane I just mentioned. This is what it would look like also in Word. And this basically lets you just basically talk naturally to Copilot to have it do things for you. So in this instance, we're going to use the transform a file feature, and we're going to select an existing Word document. And we're going to use Copilot to convert this Word document into a PowerPoint presentation for us. So doing all the legwork. So it's, gathering content, getting images, getting graphs, any of that kind of stuff. It can pull that all into a PowerPoint presentation for us and build it for you. So there we go. With just a few clicks, we have a PowerPoint presentation. Now, what's cool too is this actually goes through and builds your presenter notes. And also you can tell it things like organize this presentation, which will go through and it'll generate a agenda slide along with chapters, all that kind of stuff. It's really, really powerful. So now we're going to go over to Excel. This is a existing Excel document or Excel spreadsheet here. And we're going to use Copilot to come through and just help us out with manipulating some of the data in Excel for us. So we're going to use our Copilot panel over here. And our first prompt we're going to give it is don't show the decimal points for the sales amounts. So what's cool is we're not having to highlight the columns we want it to go look at, anything like that. It's reading what the sales amounts are, like these titles or sales. It knows their numbers, and it goes through and finds that area and applies the correct number formatting rules. So this is one of the things I really like about Copilot in Excel is it actually shows you what it was doing. So you can learn a little bit about how to do number formatting, all that kind of stuff. And it's doing it the correct way. It's not just changing these. So, If you add additional columns, it'll work for it too. Our next prompt is going to be mark in yellow any gross sales over $500,000. So again, we're not having to select those columns. It's going through and finding the information to apply this. And you see, it's, again, doing this in the correct way. So it's not just highlighting those cells individually. It's actually applying a conditional formatting rule in the correct way. So any data that changes in the future would automatically also get this highlighted data. Now, the next thing we're going to do is just tell it to show us some insights for our data. So this is actually going to generate a graph for us. Now, it previews it over here, which is really cool. We could sit here and say, add this to a new sheet if you wanted to. But we're going to use one of the pre-canned prompts here, add all insights to a new sheet. And what this is going to do is going to generate multiple types of graphs. So look at this, line graphs, bar graphs, and different ones kind of based on what the content of the spreadsheet itself is, and put those into a new sheet for us. And so there we go. So now we have all these nice graphs. And what's cool is these you can manipulate, do anything you need them to do with them, right? It's not a special Copilot graph. It is using the normal processes in Excel. So you can edit these and manipulate them as much as you need to get the results you want. All right, so that is the end of this demo. I'm going to go on to the next one. All right. So our next one we're going to go through is Outlook. Then we're going to go into Teams and look at a Teams meeting and how Copilot can help us out there. And then we're also going to go look into the Loop application. All right, so again, we're on the Windows desktop. We're going to open up Outlook. So we're having a busy day. This email thread that we're looking at here is just blowing up, right? So it's got 6 emails, and we're going to use Copilot to kind of help us out. So if you see, there at the top of this email thread is Summary by Copilot. So we're going to use Copilot to come through and actually summarize this email for us. And there we go. So now we have a nice summary of what's going on in this email thread without having to read every single email. But what's nice is, you can key on these different parts of the summary by having references. So if we click on this, where this 1 is, or this 2 is, or this 3, it'll actually bring up that section in that email of where it got that content. So there you go. So it's just a nice way to review your emails. Now, one thing that's cool, in addition to this, you can also, if you were to reply all to this email, you can even go through and basically give it a prompt for a response. And you can even tailor it to be a short email, a long email. Don't want it to sound super professional. You can even, if you want to have some fun with people that you're used to conversing with, you can even respond in the response of a poem. So that's kind of a fun one too. So we're going to go jump over to Teams. Now, just like we're kind of late on our, or we're behind on our emails, it caused us to be late to this existing meeting. Now, thankfully, someone went through and they recorded and transcribed this meeting. And yes, if you want to leverage Copilot for your meetings, you do need to, at the least, enable transcriptions because you need that transcript. But it is always great to have the recording, so then you can always review things if you need to. So the Copilot icon is up here in the meeting, so we're going to click on that, and that's going to bring out our Copilot pane over here. So instead of interrupting the meeting, we're going to use Copilot to help us out. So our first prompt we're going to say is recap this meeting so far. So instead of telling people to stop what they're talking about, hey, catch me up, all that kind of stuff, we're going to use Copilot to do that for us. And there you go. So this is what the meeting's talking about so far. It also has references, so you can actually see where in the transcript people were saying those items. So that's pretty cool. So now we're going to come down here to the prompt, and we're going to ask it, how does the group feel about the inventory status? So it's going to, again, read through the transcript to kind of see how people are feeling about things. And you'll see here, we have basically the group's having mixed feelings about the inventory status. Some people are happy with certain packaging. On the other hand, some people are worried about some long lead times, supply chain issues. Again, has a reference for that, so you can go and find out where in the transcript that was if you want to see the text in more detail. Now we're going to come through and use one of the pre-canned prompts here of what questions are unresolved. Once again, going to scan through that transcript for us, and it gives us a list of the questions that have been asked, along with their explanation. And then what's cool is Copilot even offers some AI suggestions on how to resolve those issues. So it can even help you with, some problem solving. All right, and now we're going to go jump into Loop. And we're going to use Copilot to kind of help us out. So we have this Loop page here that we're going to use Copilot for. So this is just a nice starting point. So we're going to bring up Copilot. And we're going to use the create section of this dialog box. So there's create, brainstorm, blueprint, describe. We're going to use create. And we're basically going to ask it to propose us an outline for an upcoming meeting to discuss a product launch plan. Submit that to Copilot. Okay. And it gives us a nice list of for an outline here. Now, for some reason, I'm just not feeling lists today and a numbered list. So I want to use Copilot to actually just convert this into a paragraph for me. So it's going through, and I don't know if anybody's ever changed a list into a paragraph, but that's a lot of work. You're having to, backspace out of those numbers, put periods in the right place, all that kind of stuff. And it just might not sound good. You have to actually insert some words to actually turn it into sentences. And Copilot's done that beautifully for us. Now, one cool thing about in Loop, it actually shows you the history of all the prompts and what everyone's been doing. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm actually going to edit this. And I'm going to add in this text of in the near future. And you'll see it even shows that I edited this. So there you go. So that is Copilot in Loop. Now I'm going to go ahead and move over to our third and final demo here, which is M365 Chat. It used to be called Business Chat, but it is M365 Chat now. So we're going to open Teams up. So this is another way that you can interact with Copilot inside of Teams. So, it actually has direct integrations with the panes that pop out, in the meeting, all that kind of stuff. But there's also a Copilot application, which is where you can utilize M365 Chat. Now, when you open that up, you'll see this starting point, which has, summarize, create, and ask, which gives you some nice starting point prompts that you can do. But we're going to come in and just do some custom ones. So the first thing we're going to ask Copilot is, what are some upcoming milestones for Project Relic Cloud? So M365 Chat, because it has access to the graph, it can go through, find files, emails, Teams messages, all that information for us, and give us responses back. So here we go. We asked it about Project Relic Cloud for milestones. It went through, listed out the milestones, gave us some text on it, and even gave us some dates for those milestones. Now, our next prompt is going to basically say, what are the risks? Now, what are the risks for what? Well, since this is a conversational AI, it knows we're already talking about Project Relic Cloud. So it's actually going to go through and just inject that in, because we're already talking about Project Relic Cloud. It's going to find the risks for that project without us even specifying the project. So there you go. We've got our risks here. And then what's cool too is it does list off our references. So these are the files, and then we get our SharePoint links to it. So we can go through and open up those documents to look at the ones that list. So you don't have to go through and find the documents for the project, which is great. We can do that for you. Now we're going to ask Copilot here to suggest some mitigations for these risks. So Copilot's going to go again and look at those risks and then find some mitigations. So it's gone through and listed off some mitigations for those risks for us. Now we're going to ask Copilot to write a message to the team to outline those risks and mitigations. So it's going to write us a draft email. Now, it doesn't go through and open up Outlook and start a draft email, all that. This is basically going to give us a starting point, which lives in here, and then we can take it and move it into Outlook, right? So we get a nice subject, we get a introduction email, and then the body of the email, we're actually going through those risks and mitigations. And what's cool is it even keeps our SharePoint links. So if whoever you're sending this information out to, if they have access to those files also, they could go through and review those without you having to attach the files to the email itself. So things can just keep living in SharePoint and OneDrive, all that kind of stuff. Now, our final prompt here is to create a SWOT analysis for the Relic Cloud project. So again, it's going to scan our files, meetings, and emails for the defined information. And it's gone through and generated that analysis for us. So it gives us, again, the text for it, and it even gives us the those reference links. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and bring back up our PowerPoint presentation. All right. Now, I just want to make sure everyone's aware that Microsoft 365 Copilot is now available as of November 1st. The cost per user is $30, and you need to be an ME3 or ME5 license user to use the add-on license for Copilot. Now, here are some helpful links in regards to Microsoft Copilot. We have links to overviews, videos, administration guides, etc. And I also want to point out that the first link here is to our next Microsoft webinar on Microsoft Purview on 11/16/23 at 11 a.m. Central Time. So please follow that link to register for the webinar. Now, this PowerPoint will be available for you to download as a resource, so you don't need to be in a rush to capture all of these links during the presentation. Now, we're done with the content of this webinar. So let's just check to see what questions you all have had during the presentation and get those answered for you.
Yeah, so Shay has actually been answering a lot of the questions.
Okay.
So I think one of the questions yet unanswered is education pricing set yet? So from last I know, the education SKU is still not something that that is set. So, but hopefully, yeah, we don't have that defined yet. So hopefully we get access to that very soon. And yeah, the requirements, 300 license minimum, that is still the case. That's still not changed.
Correct. And the $30 per user, that is per month, per user per month.
Yeah.
All right, any additional questions? Okay. I guess no additional questions. So, oh, there we go. Yeah, it's supposed to be able to generate also some advanced formulas, yes. Awesome, awesome. I'll give it one more minute and see. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so your control for meeting recordings, that's just going to be just your normal policies that you have applied to your meetings on who can, start recordings.
Yeah, so you can, whatever policy you have set up, so you can also set it up to record automatically when a meeting started, or you can hit the record after a meeting started. So it really depends on how you have this configured on the back end, and who has access to actually record a meeting. So it's just something to have in mind.
Yeah, on the learned documents, you should see you can find some documentation on recording policies and all that stuff too. Yeah, so if you're ME3 or ME5, it is not on license.
I'm not sure about the macros. It definitely will create pivot tables for you. That was actually part of the presentation, I believe. I think it was that was one of the tables that was shown in the demo. But we'll share, I think in one of the links that was shared, there's more information on Excel, Copilot and Excel you can get out of it right now. But remember, this also evolves every day. We keep working to better it. So if it cannot do it now, doesn't mean that in the nearest future it won't be able to.
And generative AI in general, you can sit there usually like in Bing Chat, you could sit there and ask it, to generate. I know I've used it in the past for like, hey, generate me a PowerShell script to do XYZ, right? You should be able to do it also for other type of code.
Yep.
But yeah, also the 300 minimum, we don't know if or when that's going to get lifted. So no new updates on that part.
All right. Yeah, very good questions from everyone.
Awesome. You think do we need to see any more questions? I think we closed up.
So yeah, we're going to work on sharing the slides and the recording to everyone. So